Before this video even starts, I need to let you know that the title is not clickbait, okay? No matter how much I wish it was clickbait, it is not clickbait. This sincerely happened. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm sitting down again just to have a little story time. This might honestly be one of the weirdest things that has ever happened to me in my entire life. From the deepest part of my heart, this is all so true, and you just need to believe me that this legitimately happened. We're just gonna get into it because I don't even know. Okay, so where do you even start with a story like this? So my friend Taylor and I had just flew into the Orlando airport. One of her friends came and picked us up from the airport, God bless. We had just come back from a trip, my 21st birthday, what's that? We were almost back to my apartment, and my friend who was driving, she was like, hey, I know we're almost home, but I really need to go to the bathroom. Do you mind if we stop at a 7-Eleven? I was like, yeah, of course. We stopped at a 7-Eleven, and she went inside, and Taylor and I originally stayed in the car. I'm really gonna try to paint this picture for you because it's really hard to explain everything that happened. So we're in the 7-Eleven parking lot. My friend backed into the parking spot so we could see everything that was happening around us, right? So the store was to our right, and this was where the gas pumps were, you know? And there was this car kind of next to us, and they just seemed kind of sketchy. It was two guys chilling in the front with the windows down. I'm gonna call them Cheech and Chong. I have nothing against Cheech and Chong. These guys weren't smoking. Also, I have utmost respect for Cheech and Chong, love my elders, but that's just what I'm gonna call them, because that's what they reminded me of. You know, they're two hooligans just chilling at a 7-Eleven on a Monday night, some random night. You could tell something kind of weird was happening, I don't know. Then I decided, you know what, I kind of want a Slurpee. So we went inside, and there was this weird man kind of staring at me. Ladies, you know what it's like that harassment is so fun. So I tried my best to get out of there as soon as possible. You know how it is. So we go back outside, we get back in the car. Cheech and Chong are still hanging out. But there's somebody leaning in their window, you know? And it's this guy wearing full blue, okay? He's wearing a blue tank top, some blue camo, cargos. Really weird fit, but okay, pop off. And I was messing around with Taylor to make her laugh. When I first saw this man leaning in the window, I was like, are we watching a drug deal happen right now? That's pretty sick. Cheech and Chong out here trying to make their living. Just this random crackhead guy leaning in their window. And he noticed us, okay? So Taylor was sitting in front of me in the front seat, and I was sitting in the back. And we were just waiting for our friend to come out of the bathroom. And suddenly he just turned around and started walking right towards Taylor. She locked the door. She was like, what is happening? He almost walked all the way up to the car, and then he pulled a complete 180 and turned around and went right back to Cheech and Chong again. It was so weird. I was like, are we going to die tonight at the hands of this blue man? So this man already freaked me out a little bit, so I already kind of associated him with the Joker. I don't know what it is. I have this weird thing in my head that if you're a weird crackhead up to no good, you are the Joker now. So this guy was 100% the Joker. Suddenly, across the way, across over yonder, there's a woman who just kind of came out of the woodworks. She's a very skinny crackhead woman as well. She's wearing a baby pink tank top. I don't remember what else she was wearing, but she was just a very thin blonde woman. Obviously had been on some bad sort of drugs. They were all crackheads, you know what I mean? We're at 7-Eleven, baby. You know, crackhead culture surrounds us. So she's over yonder at the red box, chilling, smoking her cigarette. She's just a smoking. Oh my God, Harley Quinn and the Joker in the same place. She's his queen. He was her nightmare. I don't remember this saying, honestly. The whole situation was just very strange. The way that they were moving was so mechanical. I was like, okay, are they about to break into song? I seriously thought that this was gonna be a crackhead flash dance. Smoking her cigarette. After we're watching them for a little while, Harley Quinn comes over, you know? I'm like, oh my God, we get to see her in the flesh. Let's go, I love celebrities. She walked down the sidewalk, then made a 90-degree angle, and then walked straight in front of Cheech and Chong, in front of our car, walked all the way pretty much to where the sidewalk and the entrance to 7-Eleven meet, right? So right in front of the road. She just kind of stood there for a second, and it kind of looked like she was waiting. And then did a complete 180 and turned around and walked right back again. It was so weird. The simulation is glitching at this point. What are these crackheads doing? They're like not with each other, but they're definitely like with each other. You know what I mean? I could not help but be so entranced by these crackheads. I was like, what kind of mystical ceremony is being practiced in this 7-Eleven parking lot on a Monday night? But I loved every minute. I was like, what will happen next? Seriously, like watching animals at the zoo. So Harley Quinn makes a complete 180, walks back towards the 7-Eleven, and she's not even like walking in a diagonal towards her red box again, her home base. She walked straight up towards 7-Eleven and then did a 90-degree angle behind the cars and then walked back to her red box. I think at this point, Cheech and Chong have driven off and we're back with our guy, the Joker. So in Harley Quinn fashion, he decides that he's gonna walk in front of our car right to where she was standing before, okay? So mind you, she's across the parking lot now, okay? And she walked all the way across the parking lot, not diagonally, in a weird angle, stood there, did a complete 180 and went right back. Now he's going to where she was. Do you see why I was kind of freaking out? He walks to the corner and just kind of stands there for a second and then does a complete 180 and walks right back. And it's so weird. Let me get this straight before we move on at all. From the moment that Cheech and Chong drove out, which honestly I can't even tell you when it was, I don't remember exactly when they left, no one entered the 7-Eleven. No one exited the 7-Eleven. Like no cars pulled in, nothing happened. No one was pumping gas. This was like a 20-minute ordeal, okay? And this 20-minute crackhead show went on with 0 visitors. No one pulled in, no one left. It was me, Taylor, and the crackhead crew. I cannot make this up. I wish I could make it up, but I cannot make it up. I was still low-key hoping that they'd break out and dance. But at this point, I was a little bit nervous. What are they doing? Like, are they gonna like blow up this 7-Eleven? Like they're like planning out a siege. Like they definitely have a plan for like where they're standing. Let me also add that there was another guy, I don't remember what he was wearing, and I don't think I gave him a name, but I'm gonna call him Busboy. And he was kind of hanging out near where Harley Quinn was, like way over there, you know, by the red box. It seemed like he was trying to leave, right? Also on crack, obviously. So Busboy is loitering over there now. Harley Quinn is standing in front of red box smoking, okay? And our good old friend, the Joker, full blue, he's the man with the plan, you know? He's the guy in charge. He was just kind of also loitering kind of near our car, like kind of near the front of the 7-Eleven. At this point, I was like, okay, they're getting kind of boring. Like, I feel like nothing's happening. They were just doing these weird mechanical motions for like 5 minutes, and I was so entranced, and now they're just kind of hanging around and doing nothing. Something changed. Our good dude, the Joker, back at it again, decided to walk in front of our car again and go stand at the corner of where the sidewalk meets the entrance to the 7-Eleven right in front of the road, okay? This is a busy road, you know, it's a pretty big road in Orlando. It was like 11 o'clock at night, but it was still like kind of hustling and bustling. That's roads for you. He was kind of like looking back towards Harley Quinn. I almost called her Harley Davidson. Suddenly, he just sprints across the road. Didn't even look both ways, okay? I get he's a crackhead, but Jesus. He runs all the way across the road, just sprint. So now we just got Harley Quinn just smoking, and Busboy is making his way across the street, and he's found himself like a nice little bench so that he can wait for the bus, you know? So I finally found somebody who's leaving the situation, but he's still in my view. I can still see him, and he's across the street. I have no idea where the Joker is now. I think there was a church across the street, so I was like, the Joker is gonna go worship, I don't know. I was like, he ran away because he's pushing the button to blow up this 7-Eleven, okay? And Harley Quinn is here, and I guess she's the suicide bomber, you know, of this situation. I was totally kidding. And I was like, he's running across the street so he can get away because this building's about to blow. I was like, we need to get out of here. Suddenly, this 7-Eleven worker comes to the door and he's standing like on the inside of the 7-Eleven but looking out this glass door in the direction that the Joker just ran. Hold on tight at home, folks. I'm like practically almost standing in my chair in the car. They have a 7-Eleven worker in on this. Let me get you filled in. Harley Quinn and the Joker are blowing up 7-Eleven today, baby, okay? Cheech and Chong came, they drove through, gave them their materials. They probably did it while we were in there getting a Slurpee, set the thing up. And they've been trying to get in position ever since, while we're sitting in the car, just like, what is happening with these crackheads? And they're out here trying to like blow this place up. That's what was happening. And this 7-Eleven worker comes to the door and is looking out. Like, it didn't blow up. It failed. And I said, if the Joker comes back, this is real. If he ran away to go get cover, he's gonna come back because the 7-Eleven worker is gonna tell him that it failed. Can you guess what happened next, people? Because I apparently could. The Joker runs back. How could this not be something criminal happening here? Now we're convinced. Now we're convinced that something is happening. Where did he run? There was nothing over there. There's a church. You can't go to a church sermon for 5 seconds and then run back.
Dude.
So he walks up. He does his weird mechanical walking again. Walks straight in front of our car, walks up to the 7-Eleven corner, then makes a sharp 90-degree angle, and then starts kind of communicating with the 7-Eleven worker. They're literally telling each other that the plan is not working to blow it up. I don't know how it could be anything else. I'm going crazy in the car. Dude, I'm about to call an Uber and get out of here. These crackheads are really putting on an operation. Our girl is she's sitting in front of the red box on the curb, she's like, if I'm gonna die for this, I'm gonna die for this, whatever, give me some cigarettes, baby. The 7-Eleven worker comes out and says, yo, dude, plan B, okay? So plan B comes through. So the Joker goes over to Harley Quinn and starts talking to her. He starts talking to her. They're in love. They've planned this out together. They are Suicide Squad here, okay? So like squad up. I don't know if they're sharing a smoke. My girl's obviously smoking. And he's just hanging out with his girly pop, his queen. Busboy's on his bench. 7-Eleven worker is being sus. You know, why is he out here with these crackheads? Why is he interacting with these crackheads? He's very close to these crackheads. Enter another player into the situation. He's an old man, and he has like a beard and he has long hair, okay? Like he's like old Jesus out here, okay? So Jesus is out here. You know where they keep all the propane? The big bottles of propane? He was kind of messing around in there, fooling around in there. He had this styrofoam cooler and there was some kind of weird hose and he was pouring something from the hose into his cooler. I don't think that's legal. The 7-Eleven worker is watching him. You know, he's pretty close to him, not doing a thing about it. What could that be? Even if it was water in the hose, you're just gonna come up and put the hose into your cooler, just turn it on. I just imagine that he's dumping propane into this tiny little styrofoam cooler. Really, really weird. And now this 7-Eleven worker, he's on his mechanical crackhead journey. He starts walking weird as shit. He walks up to Jesus. He stands there for a couple of seconds. It looks like they're kind of interacting. Pulls a complete 180, walks back to his spot. What is up with these people? Have they ever learned how to turn around? They stand in the same spot and spin 180 degrees. It's just so mechanical and so strange. At this point, I'm like screaming. This guy is filling his cooler with propane. The 7-Eleven worker is not only not stopping him, but kind of encouraging him by interacting with him. What is happening? Eventually, I guess he fills up his little styrofoam cooler and he unplugs something from the wall. He unplugs something. Nothing about that could be standard practices of a customer of 7-Eleven. What could you be unplugging from the wall that belongs to you? So confused. So at this point, Taylor has texted her friend and told her, we need to go, like this is getting really weird. It was just like a joke in my head that just kept going. I was getting nothing wrong, you know? I would say, like if the Joker comes back, that's it, they're blowing up this place. And he'd run back. I just wanna go home. So her friend finally comes out. I'm like, let's go. You know, I'm a little afraid I said it too loud because I think they hear me. At this point, Harley Quinn and the Joker have started to past the red box and it looks like they're heading for Busboy. I'm like, oh my God, they're gonna go hang out with Busboy. Of course they're not really gonna go hang out with Busboy. Like, this is real life. Why would they go hang out with Busboy? They didn't even interact with Busboy. But since this crazy string of events has happened, there has been weirder things that has happened tonight, ladies and gentlemen. As we're pulling out, this big white truck is pulling in and it backs into the spot right in front of the door. I'm like, I need to get out of here, you know? I freaked myself out. This 7-Eleven worker is out here trying to blow up the 7-Eleven with the crackheads, you know? Maybe he hates his job, maybe he hates his boss. I don't know, I can't speak for him, I don't know his life. So as we're pulling out, I'm like starting to tell as much of the story as possible. And I look to my right. Harley Quinn and the Joker are sitting on the bench with Busboy. Why are they sitting together? And I looked on the side of the building and there's a weird like black box sitting on the ground and somebody's fooling with it. Call me Sherlock Holmes because boy, I've cracked the case. There's a box on the side of the building. Someone is messing with it. So Taylor conspired that the box on the side of the building was to stop the traffic light, like was to change the light. So there was a light right in front of the 7-Eleven and they probably could control whether the light was green or red or whatever. Could make sure that there was no one stopped in front of the building, no one to see what they were up to, maybe keep the light green. I honestly freaked myself out so much that I called the 7-Eleven and I told her, I was like, listen, there's some suspicious activity happening in your parking lot. And she was like, okay, can you like maybe give me some more information? I'm like, sure. So there's a guy in a blue tank top and blue cargo shorts that are camo, and he's like with his girl, you know, this blonde girl with the baby pink tank top on, very thin, smoking a cigarette. They've been doing all types of weird turning around in circles. One of your workers went out there with them. They look like they're like doing something. They're gonna rob you, they're gonna blow you up. I don't know what they're gonna do. And she was like, okay, thanks. And I was like,
I swear to God, this is real.
So after calming down a little bit, we got home. I went on my good old trusty laptop and I decided to do a little bit of searching. I found that there was like a string of incidents down the east coast of the United States where people were going to 7-Elevens, causing some kind of havoc, taking the ATMs from the front of the stores and all the money that was in it, right? And so they would go in the store, they would like freak them out, bring in guns, like make them, give them all the money, make them be against the back of the store, then take the ATM and like run. It made so much sense to me. Jesus is at the front. I don't know what he was doing with the cooler, but he unplugged something. That could have very well been the ATM. And that white truck that pulled up at the end could have been his getaway vehicle. I don't know what the Joker was doing, like maybe checking the perimeter, I don't know. The day before this incident occurred, in Orlando, at another 7-Eleven, a man was shot in the back of his head. You think I made it up now? No. The police in these counties were like, we're not crazy. They literally sounded like me. They made a phone line that you could call if you had any information that had to do with this string of incidents. So you bet yourself that I called that number. No one answered. It was probably like 1 in. I watched this go down at 11. I'm not sleeping. I'm thinking about what these crackheads are up to. I'm worrying for the lady in 7-Eleven. I called the 7-Eleven again. Just want to check in on my girl, you know? They don't answer. Do you know what that did to me? I was like, she's dead. It's blown up. The 7-Eleven is gone. But eventually I called back again. The girl was like, it's fine, it's not a big deal. I was like, are you one of them though? The Joker and Harley Quinn seriously have ruined my expectations for 7-Eleven. I will never be able to go in there again. Like, I truly don't even know what to tell you. I don't even know how to end this, honestly. Conspire down below if you think I'm right, because I swear that that was what was happening. I honestly might have saved these people from being robbed. You know, that girl could have gone out there after getting the call, put her foot down, and told her coworker to get back inside and stop being on his stupid break. So weird. I'm still not over it. I think it's been over a month at this point, and I'm still... Anyways, thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. Really the story of my life, honestly. Have a good one. See you next time. Bye.